Welcome everyone to another edition of Burky Reviews with myself, Burky.
And me, Kirky.
So we thought we'd squeeze in one more review before I went away on holiday. So as we were looking through the listings this week, there wasn't really much on. So imagine my excitement when Kirky picks out the Aeronauts. Delightful. Something that every 37-year-old guy wants to go and watch about two people going up in an air balloon. Yeah.
At least you didn't call it Astronauts this time.
This was about a fourth take. It's late. It's late. What can I say? Kirk, I can't bring myself to start this one, so hit them with a plot.
Yeah, two people go up in a hot air balloon and they do it for scientific reasons to learn more about the weather and weather patterns.
That's about as exciting as it sounds. See, I can't bring myself to get excited about that. So I wasn't really excited going into it. I'm going to try and be fair with this review, you see, because I understand that when you're reviewing movies, you've got to be fair, you know, and there's going to be different genres. And, you know, anyone who watched our last 10 favourite films in our last episode would know that, you know, these kind of films aren't really my kind of thing. So I was always going to struggle with this film. But we went to see it in a very empty cinema. I wonder why that is. Do you know what? We nearly went to see this in IMAX. I mean, we because it was earlier, and it's 8:30 at night, and so like when we went to see it, so it's like 11 p.m. now. So we thought we'd see it a bit earlier. So you know, I mean, I've got work at 7 o'clock in the morning, but Kirky went, no, it's free because we're sitting, you know, we've got unlimited passes. So he went, let's go and see the 2D one. I mean, who would see this in IMAX? What would be the benefit in seeing this in IMAX?
Yeah, I knew you wasn't going to like it, so I thought there's no point in you spending additional money.
You're very correct.
However, I think it would have looked really good on IMAX. The special effects, the cinematography was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It was incredible.
Right,
like the scale of it.
I'll try and explain this in a little bit more depth, right? So what you get is basically two characters, the male and the female. The male's a Scientologist.
No, that's a religion. Scientology.
It's late. A meteorologist, isn't it?
Yeah, he is a scientist. That's what you were going for.
That was what I was going for. But he was one of them, right? So he goes with a girl, and the female character is an aeronaut, isn't she? Basically, she's a pilot of hot air balloons. So the story is following them making their taking off and going up into the sky, see how high they can get, basically, to try and beat the record of, I think it was around the 25,000 or 22,000, something like that. So their aim was to beat that, and for him to study the skies and try and predict the weather going forward. And that was the idea, and the whole plot kind of followed them for the whole entire thing, but also with lots and lots of flashbacks into how they got to the point of it, because it kicks off straight away with them taking off. I'm always careful with these reviews because this is the spoiler-free one, that I don't want to give too much away for those who do want to go and see it. So what I will say is that for me, that kind of structure didn't work. I would have much preferred a chronological order rather than constant flashbacks, because I just didn't feel the peril. I didn't feel the peril because it's quite a tense. There are bits, and I'll give it that. There are bits where it does get a bit tense, where they're going up and, you know, things happen and bad things happen, and there were moments which were quite, as I say, were quite, you know, exciting, but because of the way that it was structured, I didn't quite get that. I didn't quite get that feeling with this one, because I didn't care about the characters, because it kept taking me back, and because the story, if they'd gone down that storyline of these are your characters, this is why they're going up, this is their background, I've been more invested in those characters and the dangers they were facing when they were going up in the air balloon. That's my view, and I think I may have enjoyed it a lot more if that had been the way. But instead, I'm introduced to two characters who I don't really care about. I don't really know why they're going up there, and they're just taking off. And then you kind of fed that information going up. But do you know why they did that? It's because if they just did it of two people going up an air balloon, it would have been boring, wouldn't it? So they had to do that to fill it out. Because really, in all honesty, two people going up an air balloon is boring, isn't it? That's...
You're done. Okay. I completely disagree with you. I think that the fact that it didn't have a linear arc to it, the way that there was them going up in the hot air balloon and coming back down again was an arc in itself, and then in amongst it you would see in chronological order the backstory of both characters.
Yes.
And also the struggles as to what that reflected what they were going through whilst on the hot air balloon. Things were going wrong. I felt that what had happened to them in the past had shaped them and led to them become the way they were and the way they were behaving on the balloon. I thought it was a lot more exciting than you're giving it credit for. The things that Felicity Jones's character had to overcome, I thought was amazing. Considering all that she'd been through, and it was layered for me. I thought that, like an onion, it got deeper and deeper into the formation of that character, and the things that she had to overcome to be brave enough to do that. I was impressed. I thought that was inspiring. And with Eddie Redmayne's character, he was odd, but then again, a lot of scientific people...
Was he not the same character he plays in every film?
No, because I've seen Jupiter Ascending,
right,
and you haven't.
Apart from that one. Right, from that one. Let's take that away. Because
no,
apparently
he's dramatically
totally different in that. But I mean, of his recent films, is he not just very similar?
Yeah, you could tell... Yeah, Newt Scamander in Fantastic Beasts films, he's socially awkward. This character was socially awkward. However, he was caring in his own way. Eddie Redmayne's character in the Aeronauts, and I found that both Felicity Jones' character and Eddie Redmayne's character, they both had such respect for each other. It didn't look like it was going to be the case, but then when it started showing what had happened before, I could understand why they respected each other.
Okay.
And what they achieved together,
yep.
I think is important piece of history. Understand why you don't like it, but I was intrigued as to why they went up there, and I felt that it answered why they went up there. You made it clear that you don't really understand.
No, I knew why they went up there.
No.
I knew why they went up there and will come back down again. So I got that. What I didn't quite get, and what I didn't like, was that you have to care about the characters because of the way. And my personal opinion is, if they've done it in a chronological order rather than flashbacks, I would care more about those characters, to what they're going through, and the suspense and all that. If I'd been built to that moment, but instead, I couldn't give monkeys while they were going up in the air, and I really couldn't care less. And there was that, and I don't want to give too much away. It's very hard sometimes to not try and give spoilers away, and we will cover this in a lot more detail during the spoiler section. But it just didn't work for me, and it was just. And again, this is me, but I just needed a bit more. Just needed a bit more to it, and I would have been more if it had built to that moment rather than. Apart from, I'd say, the last. Again, it was the last third. Again, it was better. Much faster pace. The rest of it's just building it. And again, the reason why is because it's actually about 80. They're only up in the air about 80 minutes, aren't they? I think it showed.
Yeah, an hour and a half, something like that.
And they just had to fill it out. And I think they could have filled it out in a much better way. But that's just me. Should we do?
I was just going to finally add that I liked the way it unravelled the way it did. I became more and more interested in them because of the flashbacks. For me, that was one of the best bits of the film, other than the cinematography. I liked both the characters. I warmed to both of them. I thought it was a good film.
Well, here we are. For the first time, it's our third film, and for the first time, we're totally split on a film. So this will make the scores interesting. Just to remind you, we both rate it out of 5. We then put it together, and it gives it a marking out of 10. So as much as Kirky might have loved it, my score might bring it down a little bit into a more of a balanced result, basically, depending on what we say. So shall we go with yours first, and then we'll do the Kirky score, and then we'll do mine.
I'm going to go for 3.5.
3.5.
3.5.
Oh,
I think I've explained
that's
reasoning.
high. That's
how I feel.
No, I'm going to go 1.5. I'll give it a 1, and the reason I'm giving the 1 is for, so to explain the 1.5 is 1 for the fact that I've got to be fair and say it's not my kind of film in the first place. So I'll give it the benefit of the doubt and give it a 1, and I'll give it a half for a couple of scenes towards the end which were actually quite exciting and quite well made. So the rest of it's terrible. So, so this gives it. We'll cover it more. We'll cover it more in the spoiler section. Section. So that gives a total Burky score of 5 out of 10. So it gives it right middle of the road. You might like it, you might not. But anyway, guys, thanks for catching up with us again. Don't forget, subscribe to us. Once you've subscribed to us, once we've got 100 subscribers, we will be giving away free cinema tickets on our Twitter feed. So follow us on Twitter at Burky Movies, where you'll see little updates from us and little videos as well when we go and see films and give you a bit of an update on them. Okay, guys, catch you later.